Today on the Talking Show, Vivek and Steven Crowder on conservative discrimination, Australia to require a social media license from the government just to post memes, Boy Scouts lock down their social media as their old posts get roasted after they decide to change their name and allow girls to join. Bud Light gives an anemic apology for hiring Bill Mulvaney for $185,000 and losing $1.4 billion in sales. Elon Musk Federal Reserve Monopoly meme goes viral. Bentley to replace their iconic W12 engine with a plug-in hybrid. And AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile are fined $10 million for their so-called unlimited plan that is not so unlimited. All of that and much more on The Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of The Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder released Toy Steak. I see he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Bentley to replace their iconic W12 internal combustion engine with an anemic plug-in hybrid, which is disappointing to say the least, of course. Now, when people think of Bentley, they think of high opulence, luxury, a little bit of performance with their, they do have some pretty neat looking coupe, little sports cars. Of course, unfortunately for me, they only have 3 pedals, so I'm never going to buy one. Also, just a couple of decimal places on my budget currently. But it's one of those things where Bentley is renowned for, ultra luxury, big engines that made more horsepower than people can possibly comprehend. But unfortunately, they've just been going downhill more and more and more. And now they're even going to kill their best engine. Far not, I would argue. Now, this was brought to us thanks to The Drive, which they say, quote, Bentley is replacing their W12 with a 739 horsepower V8 plug-in hybrid. This is by Jacob Caleb's over at, again, The Drive. When you think Bentley, how many of those people really want to do a plug-in hybrid? I can't comprehend anyone who wants that. A plug-in hybrid V8. Who wants that? So they say it's going to be new plug-in hybrid V8 that'll make some serious oomph. Bentley is claiming 739 horsepower, which is 89 horsepower more than the W12 powered Continental GT Speed model could muster with the twin-turbo 6-liter. In release, the automaker says the setup will take a four-figure torque and believe that is Newton meters for reference. Oh, that's your, diving in that science stuff here. They note that the electrified V8 will offer 50-mile range on battery alone, which will make 3 owners happy. Because again, you're buying a Bentley. There's a reason Aston Martin just released, they're going to come out with a new V12. They know what their enthusiasts want. They want a nice roaring of the engine, 3 pedals, every car should have by default anyway. And yet, Bentley is going to go and start doing plugins. And I can't think of anything more. Again, there's a market for it. Don't get me wrong. There are some people who like the environment and like Bentley, maybe. Again, maybe 2 or 3 of them. And there's some performance increases, but now you have a big old battery, and let's be honest, these things aren't reliable to begin with. That's going to just be more curveballs, more things that'll hurt in the long term. But I just can't imagine what was an iconic. I mean, the Continental GTs look amazing. They had a great engine. And now it's going down to a V8, and of course the European Union will probably kneecap them again. It'll go down to V6 and Line 4, and eventually, if the government gets what they want, it'll probably just be a donkey. Or realistically, you'll just, you only have a car. It'll be the government car. They'll just drive you around. Now, let me know, have you ever actually seen one of those Continental GTs in real life? They look fantastic. And then do you think, are consumers really going to buy these now? Is this going to increase their sales? I mean, I don't think so. I've been wrong before, though, but I would say the odds of that, probably not. But let me know in the comments. As always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting business news, you have Target to limit gay pride after last year's business blunder boycott. Now, this is brought to us thanks to the Associated Press, and they say, quote, Target to reduce the number of stores carrying pride-themed merchandise after last year's backlash. And you have, let's see, are there any pictures here? Wow, Associated Press, definitely F- for marketing. Now, going back to the actual substance of the article here, this is by Anna. They say, Target confirmed that it won't carry much Pride merchandise at all. The stores begin June after they experienced serious backlash over its collection honoring LGBTQI. No, sorry, there's no QIA today. It's just LGBTQ plus communities. Again, I may speaking ineptitudes. However, if you click the subscribe button, it may assist with my speaking increase in capabilities over time. I have a theory. When I first started the show, only 2-3 people tuned in. Well, now thanks to censorship on some platforms, that's about how many people sees it. But nevertheless, in others, I'm growing. And that's why I'm especially appreciative when you click that subscribe button. But the more subscribers I've gained, the more articulate I've become. Granted, some might argue it's just a modicum of improvement, just barely at all, but I'd argue it has gone up a little bit. Now, that being said, when it comes to this business blunder of the century, I want to say they should have seen this coming, but last year, their claim to fame was they got tuck-friendly swimwear, which, again, Pride merchandise is different from that, I believe. And culturally speaking, in the United States, that's been a big debate, so to say. They had swimwear that was, I was going to say, first designed for women, then redesigned for men. They had, not to get too graphic, there's youth listening, but they have extra room so you can tuck your junk. And, I mean, Target was making some money on that. But that was backlash. And they had the kid pride stuff, and they had the satanic stuff. And I'm not being overly bombastic when I say they say satanic materials there. They actually hired a Satanist designer who made LGBTQ merchandise. And this individual who wore horns and has one of those cow rings, which, to me, big red flags. Now, he actually created an enamel pin. This wasn't a cheap little plastic one. This is a nice, it was a heavy-duty enamel metallic pin, sorry. And they sold it at Target and it said, Satan respects pronouns. That was one of the biggest reasons there was a big boycott of Target last year. It wasn't just because they had Pride stuff, which they've had for decades. And the company, historically speaking, has been as some might say, very Pride-friendly. And they cater to that community and makes a lot of money. Now, when they started to do the trans topics and the pronoun topics and then targeting the kids, to me, that's why I think there's a big business pushback last year. There's a big boycott. A lot of people just started to avoid them like the plague. Now, it makes total business sense for them to decrease or in some cases actually eliminate those materials altogether, depending where they are geographically located. Granted, if you have satanic pins, they would immediately sell out in gangbusters over in like San Francisco. I mean, that's just catering to your local audience. But somewhere like, Texas, probably not the best. Well, you have Austin and probably sell there pretty good, but probably not Fort Worth, probably not Arkansas. And some of these companies, the district managers have a lot of autonomy. They get to choose what kind of products and how they actually stock their inventory. And with the big backlash last year, I think again, this is unprecedented economical political uncertainty this year. Businesses are going to be even more risk conservative. So I think they're going to be making, if anything, less political statements. They're going to have less controversial merchandise in the stores. And especially Target, there's nothing you need at Target. It's most, I won't say useless, because again, they provide a service, but most extravagant things that no one needs in their life. Again, it's a very nice shopping experience. This store is very well lit. I mean, architecturally speaking, and the aesthetically pleasing. It's a great customer experience, but you don't need it. It really is just Walmart, but more expensive. And again, there's an increase in quality. I understand that, but it is 110% a luxury experience, and no one really needs it. And with this economy, it's the easiest thing to just cut from your bill. Why go to Target when you can go to the alternative? You can go to Aldi, you can go to Publix, you can go to Walmart. And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a fraction of the price. And Walmart is actually stepping up their games. I was going to say, is it Better Goods? Their marketing isn't good enough for me to remember, but Walmart just launched a quote-unquote premium brand that they own, in-house. So they have their, top quality, and they have the Equate line for their pharmaceuticals and medicinal and like skin creams and stuff. That's their white label, their in-house brand. That's cheaper than the regular name brand products. And then Better Value, that's the name of that one. So anything from chips, all that stuff, you get Better Value Walmart, which is their brand. Now they're going to have a higher end, that's going to be their brand. And the goal of Walmart doing that is to chisel away some of the market share from higher end competitors like Target. So it makes total 110% sense. Now, again, Target, historically speaking, is also headquartered in Minnesota, which is a very blue state. A lot of the policies in which Pride is supporting, a lot of the merchandise, again, a lot of people there they love it and they support it. It makes sense in that locality. And I think they're never going to get to the point where they carry nothing. And they're already going to get some pushback from this, from the LGBTQ community. So just not even having enough or having as much merchandise as they used to, that's going to cause a controversy in and of itself. It might lower their ESG score and a couple of other things. It might even have a battery boycott from people on the left. And that's a precarious thing when you're in retail, especially. When you're carrying all these products, it's very hard to make everyone happy. But I also think a lot of people who boycotted Target, they're not going back because there's not a big incentive to do so. You're gonna spend more money. You'll have a little, again, you'll have a little bit better shopping experience. It'll be a little fancier, and but at the end of the day, this is going to be a tough year for a lot of folks, a lot of families. I mean, once you broke that habit of going to a store, getting that customer back is prohibitively expensive. I mean, the rule in most analytics when it comes to gaining customers for the first time versus a returning customer, I mean, it used to be the cliche is, or not cliche, the statistic was, it takes it costs 7 times more to get a new customer to retain customer. So it's gonna be hard for them to all the way around for Target. But let me know in the comments, when's the last time you actually shopped at Target? I mean, have they given you a really compelling reason to go there? Or do you really just think, this will probably not be, there won't be a lot of waves, there won't be a massive boycott? Let me know in the comments. As always, it'll be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Now going over to the culture part of the podcast, you have Elon Musk on the Federal Reserve with Monopoly meme going viral. Now, obviously, it comes from the platform that he owns, Twitter. Oh, there we go. And Elon says, quote, how the Federal Reserve works. And it's a picture of Monopoly. And Monopoly says, what if the bank runs out of money? Some players think that the bank is bankrupt if it runs out of money. The bank never goes bankrupt. To continue playing, use slips of paper and keep track of each player's making transactions until the bank has enough paper money to operate again. The banker may also issue new money on slips of ordinary paper. Unquote. That got 18.1 million views in the first 12 hours of posting and 170,000 likes, which, if you ever want to go down the rabbit hole and researching all the creepy things about the United States, look into the history of the Federal Reserve. I'll probably get the show already blacklisted, or shadow banned, whatever they want to call it these days. But it's one of those instances where it's really unusual how it works and not very logical, and I don't think long-term sustainable. One of the issues why we have so many issues with our economy. Now, one of the first statements actually comes from our favorite contrarian, or rather, more accurately, our favorite leftist. And again, don't really appreciate what Luke has to say in terms of I don't agree with what he has to say, but I try to gain as many perspectives. And I follow a couple of people who are on, far left, middle, far right. And people on the far left don't post as much on far middle and right wing, or some might say associated right wing profiles. So there's usually only one or two, but again, appreciate more perspective because life can get a little bit boring in an echo chamber. Now, to give you a little background on Mr. Luke Zaleski, he's someone who has a profile picture of him wearing a V-neck, which I'll say he gets F- for marketing, but yeah, if you're a man wearing a V-neck, unless you've been married for like 20 years and it's like a date at home where no one will see you, in that instance, I could see how a V-neck would be appropriate. But as we all know, true men always suit up, of course. And he also has like the top profile that, what he pinned to the top of his profile he's proud of is talking about how boys should not be allowed to play football. Granted, I don't think he got picked a lot as a kid in terms of, I don't think anyone was picking Luke for the football team. At least we do have one thing in common, probably. But nevertheless, now Luke says, quote, Elon is the world's richest man baby and welfare queen and king of all social media and media potentially. And it got 17 likes, which, yeah, not very. Who responded to him? One person said, welfare queen, how so? Please tell. I got 1 like. Someone else just said, trying Luke, no likes. Someone says you sound vaccinated. So, not a lot of likes for Luke. Oh, whoa, he just went up. Wasn't me, but someone did like it. He got 18 now. It's on fire. But realistically, let's go to the top comments here. You have Gunther Eagleman saying, quote, time to end the Federal Reserve, getting 2.1 thousand likes. Greg says Bitcoin fixes this, getting 2.6 thousand likes. Going down here. Watcher Guru says, if only there was a decentralized currency not controlled by any individual or government, getting 1.4 thousand likes. Ian Carroll says, literally a better education than Harvard economics degree at this point, and you can get it at Goodwill or for like $5. Getting 1.1 thousand likes. Here. Jimmy Corsietti says, when you realize that they create fake money out of thin air, then lend you the fake money to buy a house, then charge you interest on fake money, then they take your real property from you when you fail to make payment with fake money. Brilliant, getting 561 likes. Something about 58 seconds long with someone interviews. Mr. Walker says, where does it come from? Do you just print? Jerome Powell says, we print it digitally. Let's see what this, about one minute. Let's see what this is.
You simply flooded the system with money.
Yes, we did.
So to lend to a bank, we simply use the computer to mark up the size of the account that they have with the Fed. So it's much more akin although not exactly the same, but it's much more akin to printing money than it is to borrowing.
You've been printing money.
Well, effectively.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally, so we as a central bank, we have the ability to create money digital.
Flooding the system with money.
Yes, exactly.
And there's no end to your ability to do that.
There is no end to our ability to do that.
I guess I'll read this out loud. So it's saying, shit, well, gotta turn off the, well, I was gonna say it's already gonna get tripped because copyright because of the music, but nevertheless it says, you work hard for your money, and it goes, central bank prints money out of thin air, your dollar ain't shit, study Bitcoin, and it's a little, what is it? It says bitcoinpodcast.net. Got 187 likes. Marjorie Taylor Greene press release parody says, how nice would it be to have a money printer? Getting 132 likes. Oz Twins says, total scam. We the people are getting screwed. Getting 1.1 thousand likes. Scroll down here. Natalie Danielsheen says, only been trying to tell people to abolish the Federal Reserve for ages now. Getting 172 likes. Censor Man says, yep, the Monopoly Man's spitting facts. Getting 240 likes. See. Kim Young says pretty much, getting 117 likes. What's this? Ian Malcolm, I got 540 likes. So it says, who started the Federal Reserve? Elon Care, to be honest, critic of this group, enslaved Americans, told the Rothschild family. Getting 540 likes. Here. That's kind of funny. Epstein sheet has Monopoly, a little Monopoly card. It says how the Democrat Party works, and it says, chance, get out of jail free. This card may be kept until needed or sold. Getting 33 likes. Couple comics trying to explain how the Federal Reserve works, which, yeah, not for you or I. It'll be interesting to see if people actually try to change the policies, get rid of the Federal Reserve, maybe go back to the gold standard or something that, government can't just print out and cause hyperinflation. Kind of nice. But it'll be interesting. Let me know in the comments. As always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting cultural news, you have Bud Light, Dylan Mulvaney, anemic apology. This comes to us thanks to the Telegraph. See here? That iconic picture of Dylan Mulvaney dressed up as Hawk. Again, if you don't know who this individual is, a biological male dressed up in this picture as Audrey Hepburn. The creepy gloves that go up to your elbow, which don't look good on hardly anyone. Yeah, let's see here. They say Bud Light, quote unquote, promises to stay in our lane after trans backlash. Brewer has learned to keep contested issues away from beer, says European boss. Really? What they're saying. Yeah, this is particular article is written by Daniel Wolfson. Yeah. Of course, no say blocked. Oh, let's see here. Well, that's a pain in the rear. But long story short, they claim that they are they didn't mean to get involved in this very very polarizing topic, and they say that we made a mistake. We're not going to do it again. We're going to stick to what we do best, making beer and making memories, and all the cliche platitudes that you would probably hear from any any company that made a big mistake and cost billions of dollars. Again, they hired Dylan Mulvaney for $185,000. Brilliant. She bragged on LinkedIn. Also, the Heiserchild. She has her LinkedIn profile before she deleted it. She bragged about being the first woman VP of marketing in the company's history. Not exactly a good way to make women look good, by the way. She also made the biggest mistake I'd argue actually the biggest mistake in business history. They haven't gone out of business, of course, but in terms of having a negative ROI from an initiative, damaging the brand, where you could argue some are worse because they put them out of business. But this, again, they spent $185,000. Again, Dylan Mulvaney's average audience is also 15 years old on social media. And they lost $1.4 billion in sales, which is ridiculous. Then Bud Light was so scared that Alyssa Heiserchild might, sue them for, defaming her, that they said she was on a leave of absence, which also shows you how backwards ass the United States is. You should be able to just fire someone for being that inept. Again, this person damaged the brand, over $1 billion in lost sales. That's it's not going to get any better anytime soon. Again, just earlier this week, we talked about how their sales are down 28.5%. And the competitors are increasing their market share, even doing even better every day. And yet, our society is so litigious that there is not out of the realm of possibility that she could sue the company for defaming her. When, again, anyone with a modicum of intelligence should be, CEO should just came out and be like, hey, Melissa Hirschfeld made a terrible business decision. She thought it was a good idea to hire a trans activist whose average audience member is about 15 years old, who cannot buy our product legally in the United States. And yeah, we're sorry. We read the room wrong. This does not, they should have done that. They didn't. They basically did nothing for about a year. Now they have this half-assed apology. Which is why, they keep buying out more and more brand ambassadors. They keep buying out, Joe Rogan, the UFC, all these famous people, getting the endorsements. But again, it's not moving the needle because it doesn't feel authentic. And the CEO, the former CIA operative, Brendan Whitworth, he is formerly CIA. There's the old cliche, you never really leave, they say. And he is very, like most CIA and politicians, he's very good at talking without actually answering a question. And again, he should just come on camera and just said we messed up. Granted, that would drop their ESG score, and they probably would, some investors would sell off even more than what others did. But again, I don't think it's actually going to increase their sales by by 1 percentage point. But I was going to say, let me look at when was the last time you actually saw someone consume willingly and they're not already drunk? When was the last time you actually saw someone drinking a Bud Light? And did they order it? Was it the only one there? Because in the past probably year, I think I've seen 2 people order Bud Light willingly at a bar or some type of social event. Interestingly enough, they appear to be moderately sober and of their senses. And we did kind of give them a weird, the people around them gave them a weird look like, why? Like it doesn't taste great. I don't even think it's the cheapest beer anymore. They lost that competitive advantage that they used to have. So it's, yeah, I don't really know. Let me know, because that's, again, my experiences. I'm based in a great country, or some might argue the great state of Texas. But let me know, have you seen their sales increasing in your area? Are they still really popular at your local bar or your favorite restaurant? As always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting culture news, the Boy Scouts of America, they are locking down their social media as they continue to get roasted for changing their name to Scouting America. And they are also going to allow girls in. Now, of course, because the democracy of the United States and the culture, Girl Scouts are not changing their name to the Boy Scouts. Or more accurately, the Girl Scouts are not changing their name to just Scouts and allowing boys to join. That's interesting. Although, ironically, the people that lead that organization can't define what a woman is or what a girl is. So it's kind of hilariously in and of itself. But yeah, the Boy Scouts said we're going to be Scouting America, which I'm actually surprised because these days people are offended just by the word America. So they might just change their name, and this goes into effect February 2025, I believe. Maybe the next time they do the name change, it'll just be Scouting. Oh, that could be pejorative as well, because militaries have scouts. That could be aggressive. So maybe they'll just be blank. But that probably offends some people, because that blank, if it's not filled with a color, then it could be argued as whiteness, which of course, culturally speaking, that's the only race you're allowed to make fun of and discriminate against these days, which is obviously morally vacuous, disgusting. You should never discriminate against anyone for things that they cannot control. But nevertheless, getting back to the former Boy Scouts, they locked down their page so that only people that they follow are allowed to respond. And it's gotten to the point where people are going back to the old post and they're starting to just roast them there. So they're locking down everything. Now this comes to us again thanks to Expert Profile, and they prepared for life, which I'm surprised they're actually still allowing to use the eagle, because the eagle will be aggressive too. Ooh. So they'll probably get rid of that. Maybe replace it with a chicken or a donkey or something, or maybe a better representation. I think it gives up easily. The French flag, perhaps, just a white piece of flag. It's a joke. It's the surrender flag. Which I was gonna say, if you're a gun enthusiast in the audience, one of my favorite jokes about buying old antique French firearms. The description is always dropped once, never fired. Get it? Because they just drop the gun and give up. They don't actually fight. The track record is, kind of hilariously inept. Now, they actually don't have that many followers. So even though they joined in 2009, they have 77.4 followers on X Twitter. Of course, it's followed by Gavin Newsom, which, again, I follow this guy because obviously I want as many perspectives as possible. So I always try to follow as many folks to get as many different opinions. So again, this is the post, and they haven't posted since. This is May 7th. So they haven't posted since they had their name change. In terms of ratio, that was the biggest ratio we've seen where there's a post where it said, oh yeah, we're going to change to Scouting America. They only got 983 likes. 3.4 million views. Yeah, and pretty much every comment was roasting them getting more likes. Or as you might say, ratioing them. Now, earlier, they had this one saying, so far, the results have been clear. Improved water conditions, less erosion, and education opportunity for scouts who visit this camp. Yeah, it seems pretty harmless. You know, you're just trying to fix up the shore. Only got 37 likes. And we go to the comments. The first one, oh, here we go. Who can reply? Only accounts that they mention can reply. Which is a sure sign that your ideals are indefensible, or you just are mindless or brainless or spineless if you don't allow any opposition to speak. Because again, if you think you have the best idea, whether it's business, cultural, politics, you should want as much open dialogue as possible so you can let people know, you can debate, and the best ideas for the surface. Sure sign of evil as well as also people who want to censor others. Now, again, they did that after all these people are ratioing them. Christy Ledrande says, why do you turn off comments, why do you turn off the comments on your post announcing this? And Gaze Against Rumors says, quote, we're very disappointed to see Boy Scouts of America succumb to pressures of woke gender ideology, rebranding as Scouting America. This isn't inclusivity, this is just the destabilization of children's activities. It is a blatant denial of the natural differences between boys and girls. Boys deserve their own space just as girls do, not blur lines, sad and disheartened witnesses. And actually, I thought I followed this page. Okay, I already do. Subscribe is up. If you subscribe, I guess on next Twitter, that's when you're paying them a monthly fee. And yeah, interestingly enough, you go to girlscouts.org. I was looking at the Pennsylvania entity. That was one of the first ones that came up in the search results, interestingly enough. And you ask them, you're like, hey, are boys going to join? And they have a question on their website saying, you know, myth bust, or, you know, myth bust or something to that effect. Saying, no, we think girls need their own special spaces and they need their own special leadership. And this is their safe space. They actually benefit from having this just female environment. If it wasn't for hypocrisy standards, some people would have no standards at all, or in this case, nonprofits. Scrolling down more and more, you have Trump 45 saying go woke or broke, getting 110 likes. Ryan says, you have gone woke and now you've gone broke. I hope a lot of you are out of business by the end of the year. You're probably being run by pedos like Disney and the government, getting 174 likes, which, yeah, that's another bad thing about the Boy Scouts. They're on the hook for $2.something billion because of sexual abuse cases. There are apparently 82,000 cases of abuse. So yeah. And again, anecdotally speaking, I know one or two contractors and folks that worked there throughout the years, and what I've heard from them, anecdotally speaking, is that they're very much about the money. It's ironic because the only product they ever sold was that crappy popcorn that never ever bought. How they didn't have a good alternative like the Girl Scouts selling the cookies is beyond me. That's piss poor marketing. Jenny Johnson says groomer's going to groom. It's like a medieval thing saying shame, getting 36 likes. Igloo Heater says absolute pathetic organization, blocking replies to your woke mind virus posts because of the backlash from rural people. I will never support the Boy Scouts again, getting 75 likes. I suspect they're not the only one feeling this way. Their donations are going to go down quite a bit. I would suspect if I were gambling, man, just kind of guessing numbers here, I'd say more than 20%. Again, they used to be a faith-based organization, used to be building young boys with skills and ideals that the country was good and God was good. TY also says, unbelievable, you just destroyed the Boy Scouts forever. Well done, getting 73 likes. Logical conclusion says, why are you blocking anyone that doesn't like you? Well, you've become Boy Scouts, can't take any criticism, getting 73 likes. So we're scrolling, I haven't seen a single positive comment. Dr. Gambit says, one of the most influential groups for boys in the last century, now a joke. In picture of the Scoutmaster dressed up in a pride handkerchief with the pride patches all over him, getting 54 likes. Now, again, the Boy Scouts aren't alone in that. The Girl Scouts actually do have a pride badge, and they encourage activities with the community. So, again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Boy Scouts, or now the Scouts, lean into that quite a bit. Here, Jonathan Finland says, you've ruined what was a great institution. Congrats, wokeness took you down, getting 19 likes. Let's see what the other posts look like. All right, here's one. We're going back to posts. So, a roundup of scouting news from the week. And even this is getting roasted. This was from a couple weeks ago. First one's from Jenny. Jenny saying they, them, Scouts America, getting 13 likes. Buzz Flightyear says, so sad this organization is going to be absolutely destroyed by woke leftist nonsense. We will miss what was once the Awesome Boy Scouts, getting 25 likes. Bean says, rest in peace, Boy Scouts. We will remake you one day, getting 31 likes. And see African, was the gentleman in the suits in Africa dancing with the coffin, getting 31 likes again. Matt in Iowa says, why did you shut down your comments on your latest post, getting 16 likes. Then the scoffs his name change is garbage failure, getting 17 likes. Going more and more. Is this a positive one? Nope. Omar says groomers. Well, let's see here. And again, there are people who, okay, here's the one of the most popular ones where they renamed it from Scouting America to Grooming America, getting 6 likes. That picture has been going around the internet and social media quite a bit. Let's see. There we go. The Daily Caller has a picture of the Boy Scout with the cow ring on the nose. The Pride Progress. Yeah, that is the Pride Progress flag and behind. And the patch says, ask me my pronouns, and has the Marxist black fist on their chest as well. They got 68 likes. Which, I mean, culturally speaking, even businesses are giving the pronouns. Culturally speaking, it is a growing phenomenon. I'm seeing, again, anecdotally, when I'm looking on social media, I'm looking at businesses, I'm looking at the signatures of people that I get at work, and it is increasing in frequency. I don't know if that's going to be long lasting or it's going to be 100% saturation rate where you'll see it everywhere. I think there'll obviously be, obviously this isn't 100%, but I wonder if that will increase in frequency throughout this calendar year, or maybe it'll go away. Let's see. Let's do one more post by him. How far? Okay, here we go. This says the scouting went on an awesome adventure in their whitewater rafting, getting 15 likes. Let's see. I wonder, will there be anything positive in the comments? Oh, they locked him down again. Only accounts mentioned by Boy Scouts can respond. First response was groomers from Joe Biden's last brain cell, getting 6 likes. Meta Mod says, okay, groomers. And they say, there's a quote that says, men wouldn't pretend to be a transgender to get into women's places to harm more women and girls. And it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 specific instances of men harming girls, getting 7 likes. Again, that picture's going around everywhere. Grooming America getting 8 likes. That graphic. Which, again, we'll see if they change. In 2 years, they might just get rid of the iconic eagle crest. Because, again, I mean, eagle could be viewed as aggressive. We can't have that. Maybe they'll change it to a pigeon. You never know. Going down here. Let's see. Fed Up says, when are you going to change your hashtag? Getting 5 likes, which, I mean, legally, I think they already own the domain, but they're changing their, so legally it's taking place, I believe, February 2025. Let's see here. Let's see. Ultra Mega Florida Man, although if he is so Ultra Mega, where's his red hat and orange? But nevertheless, this alleged Ultra Mega Florida Man says parenting in 2024 be like, and is a father eating to his kids, and he's blocking the goat devil riding the pride flag, and he's blocking them with a shield. Well, interesting enough, didn't get a single like. Let's see here. Robert Schul says, why Girl Scouts don't let boys in? If not, they should. If not, they would want to. Getting 2 likes. Which, again, I think maybe that will happen in a couple of years. I mean, parents are already transitioning their kids in multiple states. Maybe they'll try to join. And again, there are some people that want that, certainly. All right, we'll do one more. It's from May 1st. And I think it goes back, maybe for the year. Boy Scouts, BSA says, quote, it is the highest honor for a life-saving offered by BSA to come off the... It is the highest award for life-saving offered by the BSA and among the rarest honors of BSA issues. It says here are 2 boys who earned the BSA's highest award for life-saving in 2023. I was going to say that one guy is a really... not to talk too much schmacks, as you might say. That guy's a pretty awkward smile. Like, almost as awkward as Ron DeSantis or like myself. Like, yeah, it's not pretty. I'm not going to lie. I probably would win that contest. Which might be a good example of being a winner or the loser at the same time, but I partially digress. But yeah, it's a pretty positive message, but can't help but think, oh yes, they locked it down again. Who can reply? Only accounts with hashtag boycotts mentioned can reply. And of course, the first image is from MetaMod. It's the picture that has the Photoshop is Grooming America, getting 16 likes. And talk about a meme going viral. That is the #1 image I've seen in regard to this specific cultural topic in the past couple of weeks. Let's see. On the Run says new Scouts plaster just dropped. And it's like I just described a minute ago. We have the young gentleman with the cow ring nose, the pronouns badge, the Marxist fist, and then he's saluting in front of the trans pride flag. No, the progress pride flag. That's what it is. I don't know who's making flags these days, but they're making a killing because there's a lot of them. That got 17 likes. Another one did the Growing America. Hot Dog Finger says, is it the badge for talking? Getting 7 likes. Dr. Ben Dover says, you're not the Boy Scouts anymore. Change your hashtag, your X handle, getting 6 likes. Which, I mean, they probably will in a year. Because again, they said it's officially, again, in February 2025. So they probably will at that time. Now, I can't help but think they're probably, in terms of the website domain, they're probably going to hold on to that because that's worth a pretty penny. And maybe they'll change their ways someday. I mean, I'm not very optimistic at this point. But yeah, if they're some type of entity that could buy out the intellectual property of the Boy Scouts and actually make it how it was, originally founded and supposed to be, that'd be not $1 billion idea, but I could venture to say at least be $1 million idea, a couple million. Let's see, do one more. Nunya says, heard about your woke name change, weak and pathetic. This will diminish the institution. But I guess it is what needs to happen. Getting 7 likes. Which, again, from a business perspective, they're losing money left and right, partially because of the sexual assault cases. But also, you see the trends. There are less and less people participating in Boy Scouts throughout the years. I would also argue that's due to poor parenting and letting the kids just become addicted to electronic devices. There are a myriad of reasons why you're seeing a shift away from Boy Scouts. But I also think, very similar to religious institutions, they think it's good to cater to the common denominator and not to the core of what you used to be, what you really stand for. Which, again, once you start to go to the common denominator, you also alienate the people who are truly passionate about it, who would be your best, I guess from a business perspective, you would call them your brand ambassadors, where they're telling their friends about it, they're getting their friends involved, you get that multiplier effect. And that's priceless to have that type of marketing. I mean, it is hard to beat grassroots marketing. But, I mean, again, they got that $2 billion settlement. They've got a lot of issues. And I mean, they are far what they used to be. And again, like many institutions, they still do some good things. I have some friends who have been participating throughout the years. Very similar to the NRA. Over the years, they've done some great, fantastic things. However, I've got the age-old saying, is the few bad apples ruin the bushel. Some of that effect, because, again, NRA has done a lot of bad things as well, including endorsing the bump stock ban, which is mentally vacuous to say the least, and caving way too much, which is why you have many competitors that now do, in my opinion, do a lot more civil rights activism and a lot more fighting for the Second Amendment than the NRA does. The NRA, again, they still do some great safety trainings, understand what they do, and they help get certain people elected that are pro-gun. Again, they do some good, but with Boy Scouts, it seems like the bad outweigh the good, and at the end of the day, it's not sustainable as a business, or in this case, nonprofit. But again, nonprofits still have to make money and they have to pay employees because not everyone is volunteer. At the end of the day, I think this will increase their numbers temporarily. Because again, there are some girls who would want to join the Boy Scouts. So that will increase the participation rate at what used to be the Boy Scouts, not just Scouting America. But I don't think that delta is going to be greater than the number of people who are leaving because of the new policies. And you're going to see, you will see some alternatives. I forget the name. Their advertising wasn't that good, of course, good for me to remember it. But there was someone on the Facebook where I was scrolling and actually saw an alternative for a faith-based, founding fathers-based organization for young boys to grow and develop. Which, again, that's what the Boy Scouts used to stand for. Nowadays, not so much. So alternatives are already being presented. And I think those will grow exponentially as people feel more and more alienated by the Boy Scouts. So at the end of the day, I think unless we see the cultural shift in demographics where you see that, again, there is an increase in the United States when it comes to the LGBTQ plus participation rate or identification rate. So again, long term, maybe this will help the Boy Scouts, or what used to be the Boy Scouts, grow in their participation rate and their member rate overall. Again, a lot of people debate on how those, how the statistics measured. It's not a single variable analysis. But let me know, and again, the Boy Scouts, in terms of marketing, they're just as bad as I was going to say. Let me know in the comments, who is worse at marketing, Bud Light or Boy Scouts America? And I guess Bud Light did the worst because, again, they spent $185,000 to lose $1.4 billion, which biggest negative ROI or return on investment in business history, perhaps. But when it comes to the Boy Scouts, I mean, their marketing, again, I'm not their core demographic. Unfortunately, I'm not privileged. I don't have any children of my own to participate in that yet. And it's one of those instances where, even though a couple years back, I mean, you don't really see them on social media too much. The only thing they ever sell throughout the years is that crappy popcorn, which you only buy because you feel bad for the kids, or you want to support the kids and you want to support the nonprofit. Like, I remember when I was a kid, I tried to sell popcorn, and and again, it's a great experience for young boys. You actually teach them how to. Any sales job, you're going to teach a lot. You're going to learn a lot, and especially interacting with people on the streets, trying to sell popcorn. It's a great skill set multiplier. It's a great experience, but it's a terrible product. It didn't taste, from my memory, truth be told, it's probably been 20 plus years, but it didn't taste that great. No one's really excited to buy them. Now, you look at the Girl Scouts, that's brilliant. Their marketing, everyone knows those cookies. They've become things of legend. And the Boy Scouts, I can't tell you how they raise their money except donations, which I can't help but think this will also cause the donation rates to drop dramatically. Because again, you look at the people who used to support the Boy Scouts, they're faith-based, they're founding fathers-based, patriotic. They're not fans of having girls invite boy spaces. They're not fans of, as youth might say, wokeifying organizations and moving away from the core principles. I mean, Boy Scouts even tore down, I believe, the founder's statue a couple years back. So I think there are a lot of reasons the Boy Scouts are crumbling, and it'll be interesting to see. Let me know. Do you know anyone who has actually participated in the Boy Scouts for the past couple of years? Do you think they'll overall grow as an organization, the next couple of years coming forward? I mean, let me know in the comments. Sometimes it might take me a day or two just based on my job and a couple of, things I have to do. But I do always try to strive to get back to the comments and respond in a timely manner. And even if we don't agree with what we have to say, more perspectives is better. As always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say in the comments. Going over to the political part of the podcast, you have Vivek and Steven Crowder on white conservatives always being bullied against and not speaking up. Now, this comes to us thanks to Vivek's Twitter profile, in which he says, quote, "I'll say it. The fact that white conservatives have been tricked into thinking they can't speak on certain issues because of the color of their skin is BS. That's actually racist." Great exchange with #Crowder. Things got heated. Here's what I have to say. Granted, like all true men, of course, Vivek did suit up. Always, that's what you do in life. Steven, unfortunately, it looks like he is in a branded shirt, so that is from business perspective, that's perfect. I mean, you sell long sleeve shirts, you want to wear it. That of course makes sense. Now, granted, their voices are infinitely better than mine, so without too much further ado, I'll go ahead and play that really quick right here.
Why am I the only person who can actually offer legal argument for why we should be able to end birthright citizenship without a constitutional amendment? And so the irony to me is,
I can answer that.
Yeah.
It's because of the color of your skin. And I don't mean that I'm saying you are inoculated.
That.
For someone who looks like she's straight from the hip.
I disagree with that. I'm going to be back at you, Steve. I'm going to hit you hard for that. That is because the rest of you are freaking lazy. And
cowards.
The conservative movement has grown lazy. Cowards. People in this country have common sense. What we really lack is courage.
Yes.
So I'm not going to buy some BS that like my last name or my skin color insulates me. Think about it. I had to step down.
No, but that's the perception. You have balls, but other people won't criticize you.
But let's just level at this. We're having some fun here. I stepped down from my CEO of a company, multi-billion-dollar company that I founded, led as CEO, built it from scratch, wasn't born into money, and had a choice to do what every other biotech CEO was doing in the wake of George Floyd. Chose not to do it. Did not issue a statement in favor of BLM because saving this country involves some measure of sacrifice.
Yeah.
So to somebody, I get this from white friends all the time, good-hearted people. It's like, I love that you can say it because I can't. My answer is bullshit. You're just a coward. Mm-hmm. Stand up and actually say it. Yep. Stand for your actual convictions, because if you can't stand for your convictions, you don't have any at all.
But the issue is no one else does say it. Right, we say it on this show, right? And then we take the arrows. Let me give you a very clear example. I come from Quebec. And the reason I say this...
take the arrows. Don't cry about it. Like, that's part
I'm not crying about it. I'm saying as far as the Republican Party.
Yeah.
The Republican Party. Why aren't they saying it? I am giving you your answer. That is the answer. It's white guilt. It's not...
So we need to no
their
longer be
white
cowards.
guilt. Hold on, let me finish here. This is important. In Quebec, and this goes to Ann Coulter's point, the only people who feel they can't say it, because they've been told they can't say it, are WASPs in this country. Quebec, they created language laws. They had the language police to enforce it. And by the way, this was copied across the world. This was copied across the world. It said, oh, wow, we can do this because we want to preserve a culture, French, namely French-European culture, right, Acadian culture in Quebec. And they created these language laws, which, by the way, were discriminatory against English-speaking Canadians. No one has a problem with it anywhere else except in white United States of America because they've been told they can't. Now, I don't subscribe to that, but I will tell you this. My frustration is everyone in the Republican Party, save for you and maybe Donald Trump, it's a white guilt thing. They feel they can't say English because people say, do you mean white? And they go, no, 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 no. And they're pussies.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to know what the one nation is that's spoken in other countries? Loan language is spoken in India is English.
Yeah.
So why should we worry about that in the United States of America when actually that creates coherence in our nation? And so here's what I'll say is no excuses for anybody anymore. If you have your own convictions, speak your mind in the open, actually start standing for it. Don't assume it's somebody else's responsibility, and don't make excuses for yourself for not doing it either. Why am I the only person?
Again, I don't know if Elon thinks it's a feature or the joke is in tech is, well, it's not a bug, it's a feature, you see, but the videos always seem to repeat themselves on X Twitter once you finish actually playing the video. It went pretty well. I got 709,000 views and 10,000 likes. And yeah, I would say a lot of the issues of the United States could have been solved if, conservatives and religious folks had more of a backbone, but they're just way too accommodating and just saying, well, no, it's okay, let them do their own thing. And I was going to say, I think by now we could all agree that there's no such thing as a slippery slope theory. It's more like the slippery slope fact. And this applies to a myriad of things, from gun control to, you see people having sexual indoctrination in schools for kids, where I won't even go in there because it's so viscerally disgusting. But let's look at a couple of top comments. You have Paul Zazupa saying, quote, "It's racist to say someone can't talk about something because of their race or skin color. Just like it's sexist to say someone can't talk about something because of their sex. Everyone can talk about everything. May the best idea win." They got 247 likes. Well, 248 likes because of me. Because, yeah, that's one of the most disgusting things is when someone says, oh, yeah, you can't talk about that just because of X, Y, Z. Because of your skin color. Or you're red. Supposed to be the United States. We used to be in a country where, we believe all men are created equal, but the best ideals brew to the surface. Your idea is just as valuable as the person next to you. You shouldn't be barred from conversation because of things you can't control. That's viscerally, again, morally vacuous and disgusting, and yet, again, people allowed it to happen. It's terrible. One bad dude has the Office meme, and it says, "It's insane," and Jim pointing to the whiteboard, which I was going to say I have one right there. I'm going to say maybe I'll do that meme someday. But nevertheless, he has Jim, and it says, "The same people that are angrily demanding that you tolerate and accept their way of life," and the juxtaposition is the whiteboard below. It says, "Hate you passionately for years." And they got 364 likes, which 110% is true. Devolution, quick draw meme, says, "If the Constitution and Bill of Rights can't go viral in America, then what are they really fighting for?" I was going to say, I have to like that now. Thanks to me, it now has 56 likes. Ryan Wolitsky says, quote, "Anyone dividing people on their skin color is racist. It doesn't matter if you're trying to level the playing field or not. Fighting an imaginary racism with more racism isn't the answer," unquote. Getting 102 likes, which, again, people used to say back in the day, 2 wrongs don't make it right. You have Cattle Harris saying, "What I want to know is, do you think Anne's feelings about voting for you is an isolated case or general consensus among white voters? Because you have deflected the conversation from you are not and will not be accepted in terms of you desire freedom of speech and cowardice. This is why they allow you around, because you say what they can't, but they never truly accept you totally. You'll never be president of the United States. Vivek, do you understand that?" And granted, she says and looks mentally vacuous in terms of course she has a political science degree. Of course, one of the most useless degrees on the planet. And he only got 16 likes because, again, I know a lot of people who would vote for Vivek because, again, in my opinion, he had great policies, and truth be told, I think he had a little bit of a libertarian in him, so to say. And again, anyone who's willing to shrink the federal government so their taxes go down, I'm a big fan of that. Especially his stance on the Second Amendment. If he won the Republican primary, I'm trying to remember last time I donated to a politician, but I certainly vote for him at the end of the day. And she's saying, and yeah, in terms of reality, there are a couple people who probably won't vote for him because of his skin. You do that. Those people are disgusting and racist. They're always going to be around. Can't control their brain. The most you can do is hope that they change. Just, if anything, with the exposure, just hang out with them, introduce them to cool people, and show them, not everyone's just. Show them that, everyone is an individual. Treat them as such. Don't judge someone until you get to know them a little bit. Now, of course, did she get completely ratioed? No. So someone did respond to her. They only got 5 likes. Let's see here. Drew Jones responded to her saying, "And of course, it's an isolated case, not isolated to this only one, but it's certainly a minority opinion. Vivek leads every poll for those who the Trump voters want as vice president. He didn't have a chance at the primaries because him and Trump have similar voters and they love Trump. Getting 5 likes, which, yeah, I mean, when Vivek was still running for the Republican primary, almost about half the comments were all saying, we love you for the 2028 election. And a lot of the comments said, we love you as a VP. Because again, a lot of those same people, it's not a coincidence that Vivek has, I think, many policies and many beliefs that Trump has as well. Which again, when you're trying to run for president, you really need a compelling reason to, have people choose you in the primaries. And he was just so similar to Trump. I think that's why he never really got that far ahead. I think he peaked about 11.5% in the poll aggregator, which again was a lot better than Chris Christie. I mean, he rolled, well, I was going to say walked, but let's be honest, he rolled to about 3% in the poll aggregator at his peak. Let's see here. Scrolling down more and more. It's about 1 minute more of the interview. News No Man says more from the interview. Let's see here. Yeah, why not? They got good voices. We'll play this extra minute here.
I think the reason we didn't have a red wave in 2022 is not because of abortion. It's not because of Donald Trump. It's because Republicans fell into this trap, criticizing the radical Biden agenda. And I've done that. You've done that. But it gets stale after a while, really. I mean, Biden gives us an endless list of things to criticize. We did not have an alternative vision that we actually stand for. I'm not talking about metaphysics and philosophy. I'm talking about actual affirmative policies that we stand for. Standing for merit, standing for free speech, standing for the rule of law, standing for actually making sure that bureaucrats we never elected aren't the ones running government. That's a vision. Those are things to stand for. But sitting around criticizing the radical Biden agenda or the progressives on their own terms is fine. It's important. It's necessary. But we can't do it at the expense of forgetting what we're fighting for. And I think that's the mistake that Ann may have made, though I respect a lot of what she said. I think the reason we didn't have...
And that did get 51 likes. Yeah, Jeffrey Miller saying great points. Convictions that people are too afraid to articulate aren't convictions at all. Uncle gained 20 likes. Sir Majesty says true people lack courage, gained 58 likes. Ian Strong says great conversation, gained 54 likes. Let's see here. Brady Upula says GOP is plaguing from both white guilt on one hand and deep racist bigotry on the other. Can't win either way. Interesting. A contrarian statement. There are a couple. I got 36 likes. Someone by the name of Small Government. Good name. They say we should require birth certificates to contain the nationality and residency status of the parents. That would clearly identify the magnitude of the issues. Getting 9 likes. Here's case in point, people liking him as VP. Bulldogs for Vivek says Vivek for VP period, getting 114 likes. Let's see. Jonas Grindenberg says, I speak on issues of color all day long. And he posted the statistics on, let's see, what is this? Suspects per 100,000 inhabitants by nationality. This went viral, I think, last week. And noted that the government wants you to hide from you that Afghans are 7.9 times more likely to be suspected of a crime by the police in Germany last year. That got, well, not too many. They only got 2 likes, but he did say it. Caring says, what an important issue, gained 1 like. Tracy Robinson said again, Mr. VP, or Vivek Ramaswamy, gained 24 likes. So it'll be interesting to see, again, this is a little bit of a political and cultural issue. Do people ever move back to the point where, and again, everyone's word is equal, everyone has equal opportunity to critique, to say whatever the heck they want without being socially ostracized or culturally canceled? I certainly hope so, because at the end of the day, I mean, that's what our founding fathers wanted. I mean, there's a reason those beautiful words ring with such a beautiful tone of freedom. I mean, all men were created equal. One of the most best preambles ever written in history. But let me know in the comments. I mean, I've certainly seen this throughout my life. And we have some conversations, in private, and they'll say, "Oh no, heaven forbid, I never actually say that on LinkedIn or in public or anything like that." And we see this a lot with the DEI and the hiring practices, which are technically illegal, where companies are choosing people based on things they can't change, such as their gender orientation, and as well as their gender or their sex. I'm trying to say, and yet most people on LinkedIn are too cowardice to say anything, because again, they think they'll never be able to get a job, and in some cases, that actually is true. Some businesses will identify and look at your social media history and say, well, we're not going to hire Bobby because he has that policy conscription. But as always, let me know in the comments. I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political issues, you've got Australia to require a social license from the government to post memes, and Elon responds. Of course, this is thanks to X-Twitter, one of the last vanguards of freedom and freedom of speech. This is why, not to brag about my vast amounts of wealth, but I do have $8 a month to pay for X-Twitter Blue. I do have a cool blue check mark. I was about to say groovy, but I don't think they've said that since the 70s or the 80s. Nevertheless, Elon says, quote, I doubt that the people of Australia agree with suppressing their rights. And Das Hazard says, update from Australia's Prime Minister, you're going to need a social license to post memes. It says, quote, Parliament needs to understand how social media companies dial up and down the content that supports healthy democracies, as well as the anti-social content that undermines public safety. And that's from our Minister of Communications, on Michelle Rowland, MP. And if you're just tuning in, I'll describe him. He looks a little bit like a Bond villain with those really creepy glasses. No, I guess to his credit, he did suit up and he wore a tie, so he did one thing right. Granted, he's also mentally morally vacuous, so that's not too good either. And yeah, this is the same country that tried to ban guns and go, force you into camps if you didn't take the jab. Like, I guess we shouldn't be too surprised. And again, it got 25.6 million views and 7.1 thousand likes. Let's see here. Data Hazard responded with the first comment saying, any guesses who is leading the Western world in censorship demands to social media companies? Yeah. Kind of those tyrants in Canada, usually, they seem nice. I guess Australia is a country founded by, former thieves and, criminals. So I guess we shouldn't be too surprised that they're evil leaders. Australia is the largest bar none at number of accounts officially requested to be removal from January 2022 to June 2023. And Australia requested 1,532. The second is New Zealand, which is basically Australia Junior. I'll piss off the two people from New Zealand who listen to this show. They got 637, I was going to say likes. That was how many bans that they requested. Israel wanted to ban 627. The UK was 568. Germany was 462. Kazakhstan was 372. Pakistan, was 337. Mexico was 308. Indonesia was 266. Turkey is 272. Ukraine was 272. Russia was 253. Gotta be some outlier here. Why the heck is the United States not there? That got 5.1 thousand likes. Let's see. Pastor Corn Pop says, this is a meme account. Meme checkpoint, show me your papers. And this picture of the Australian Prime Minister dressed up, having the iconic Hitler mustache. It looks like the Hitler uniform, or Nazi uniform more accurately. I was going to say, Hugo Boss. They have a long history. Some might argue rich. Some would probably say, well, yeah, we'll skip over that chapter where when you're onboarding the new hires, we're going to skip that chapter of the history. But nevertheless, they got 223 likes. SM Hawk says Australia has gone full Gestapo on free speech. You need a license to post memes. Again, it's the Prime Minister with the little Hitler mustache getting 964 likes. Let's see here. Some more memes. Let's see. Chili Willie says, so you need a photo ID to post social media, but not to vote. Oh my god, we're going to have safe and secure elections. Anything but that. Ha. Getting 756 likes. Giga Chad says, I got two takeaways from this. First, he said healthy democracies when we all know he full well meant Marxist authoritarianism. Second, notice how quickly Marxists are willing to take away your freedoms in the name of public safety. I got 294 likes. Because again, I don't care what political affiliation you are. If you're enforcing and glorifying censorship, you're not a friend of freedom. You have Alex saying the sad part about this is that once they start stripping your freedoms away, you'll never get them back. And 721 likes, which is unfortunate but very true. You have the funny meme of the guy and the girl sleeping and the girl's wondering what the guy. And this is from More Shower Thoughts. And so the meme, or the start of the text before the meme says, censorship has never been on the right side of history. And she's looking at the guy in bed. She's going, what did he say? And he's sitting there looking concerned and thinking, censorship has never been on the right side of history, unquote. 538 likes, which, yes, perhaps that's why public schools have a all-time low test scores for everything. Again, was it 23-year low test scores for the ACT? And yet, the teachers' unions want more and more money. Yeah, maybe that's why they don't teach history anymore, or teach it well. Let's see. Pizza Guy says, I thought Australians were the descendants of criminals. It seems more likely that they're decadence of boot-licking lackeys. Why are they putting up with such flagrant authoritarianism? And getting 576 likes. FM Doge saying, imagine telling an Australian they're not allowed to be funny. Getting 547 likes. Honeywell Todd says these people are disgraceful, getting 324 likes. But interestingly enough, not a lot of contrarian statements. And again, there are a lot of authoritarianism fans that would, agree with this. Steve Davies says no Second Amendment always leads to no First Amendment. Getting 51 likes, which is also a friendly reminder of how rare freedoms are in the world. The United States is one of the very few places on the planet that actually has a Bill of Rights and actually guarantees you things like the Second Amendment and the First Amendment. And thank God the Founding Fathers actually had the forethought to put it in there. I wish they spelled it out even more clearly so that the evil people in the United States can steal your rights away and try to limit what type of firearms you can own, all that kind of stuff. But it'll be interesting to see, again, do people in Australia just, primary this person out of position? Do they vote him out? Hopefully they go to Hobby Lobby or some hobby store, start getting the nice cardstock poster boards and saying F you or something to that effect. Or better yet would be to print out the meme and hold it up just for extra spite. Or irony, something to that effect. But yeah, it's not a good year for freedoms, and more people having them stripped away. Hopefully people will actually peacefully protest and let their opinions be known. And again, I'm not sure what the odds are that Australia will actually back down from that initiative, or they actually will say, oh no, our bad, we won't do it. I mean, the odds aren't great, but hopefully they do. Let me know if you're an international viewer or listener. Have you seen similar actions in your country? Are they trying to steal your freedom of speech? Do you have one enshrined in your original constitution or founding documents or founding ideals and founding ideals and what you stand for? As always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Going over to the business blunder of the day, you have Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile being fined for their quote-unquote unlimited data, which is not really unlimited. Now, this comes to us thanks to The Verge, and it says, this is specifically by Emma Roth, and she says, quote, Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile unlimited plan just got a $10 million slap on the wrist. The carriers are accused of creating ads that mislead customers about their unlimited plans and free phone offerings. Now they say, quote, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile pay combined $10.22 million to a group of states to settle claims that the carriers lied to consumers about their unlimited free phone offers. Settlement, which follows the investigation from a coalition of 50 attorney generals, requires that the three companies make their advertisements more transparent. Under the terms of the agreement, Verizon, T-Mobile, and AT&T can only advertise their plans as unlimited if there's no limits on how much data someone can use during the billing cycle. Which, I want to say, yeah, obviously. And yet, it's been that way for years, and it's been the biggest scam where, oh yeah, they say unlimited, but then they throttle the hell out of you. I mean, it was such a point of pain that people are making multiple parodies on YouTube pointing it out how ridiculous it was. Now they say that the ads must, quote, clearly and conspicuously say there are restrictions on speed may apply, as well as a specific amount of data consumers can use before triggering the slowdown. Which, again, that's still saying that, oh yeah, you can still say it's unlimited, you just have to have these extra disclaimers. Which, why not just be more transparent and not say it's unlimited? Just, again, you're gaining some customers because they're stupidly buying your, or not stupidly, some of them are just, they're not reading the fine print. Well, I guess even in this case, they didn't have the fine print prior to this, but you're misleading customers. That's not going to lead to a long-term profitable business relationship. You're just going to make them irate and they'll go to another carrier. There aren't many left in the United States, but there are still a couple alternatives to the big three. Now they say, quote, additionally, the attorneys general went after the alleged misleading claims Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile made in ads promising to pay customers to switch carriers. All three companies must now clearly disclose the terms and conditions associated with the offer, including how much a customer will be paid and when they'll receive their payment. And also they must disclose the requirements for their free phone. Yeah, there's a big scam, or I don't want to call it a scam, but sure it felt like it, where AT&T came to my community and they had a promo where if you sign up for them, you get like a $100 gift card that something to that effect. Yeah, spoiler alert, no one actually got that gift card, which again, I knew was just with their track record, I knew no one was ever going to get it, but it's the fastest in the neighborhood in terms of offering from an internet service provider. So like, yeah, at the time, this is, I think it was it in Iowa at that time? At the time I thought, why not? I'll just go for it. They say, this is from the Attorney General, they say, quote, these companies lie to millions of Americans, making false promises of free phones and unlimited data that are simply untrue. Let's see here. They also say this isn't the only scrutiny the three major carriers faced earlier this month. The FTC fined them over $200 million over new allegations that they illegally share consumers' data. Oh yeah, that's what they're letting everyone know about your GPS coordinates. That was nice of them. That's irony, or sarcasm more accurately. Or was it? Extra sarcasm. 2 layers today, some might say. So yeah, having an instance where they're gonna have to pay this again. In terms of $10 million, again, these companies are worth billions of dollars. That's not even a rounding error. I mean, it really is a slap on the wrist. Now, hopefully they've learned. And again, realistically, it's going to be the new rules going forward. Because again, they have a small fine now, but now they have the specific requirements where very similar to YouTube, where if you're actually paid or sponsors, you have to click that button. You have to clearly say it and it pops up on the screen. Where back in the day, they didn't have that, and a lot of people felt they were misled because some YouTubers didn't make it clear. And now they have the more strict rules going forward. And now, just click that button and let people know. But it'll be interesting to see, if they actually lose any customers over this, or people are irate. Because, again, I've had friends who are very frustrated with the throttling throughout the years, where, yeah, you have unlimited free loan. It's unlimited. But as soon as you hit a certain amount of consumption of data, all of a sudden it'd be going slower than a smart car, or something to that effect. But, yeah, I gotta say, getting this, again, get a slap on the list. So very, relatively speaking, not a big monetary, loss to the companies, but still, this is not good news for them. It's definitely not good publicity for them, and you still get a fine and a little increased regulation going forward where they could have avoided all this. I gotta say, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, that certainly is the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a comment or a thumbs up, thumbs down is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.